Hello and welcome to another episode of Neptunalities, a galaxy where you get lost in the world of fiction and non-fiction books. We have so many different episodes for you, feel free to check them out. And I was thinking maybe I should try something new. And that something new is choosing a theme. First, I thought, perhaps I should choose a theme for a month, and obviously that's so much easier when it comes to special days like Christmas. So December will be a Christmas theme podcast, and again for Valentine, New Year's, and things like that. But I also thought maybe I would start choosing a theme, and the theme would be an author and a series or a couple of books by the author. Now, when this idea came to me, I suddenly saw that there is a new TV show out, which is inspired and actually based on a book series that has gotten a lot of attention. This, both TV and book series, it went viral being about, it's a sporty romance, new adult, specifically college hockey romance. Now, do you know what series I'm talking about? I'm talking about the off-campus series by Elle Kennedy. And the only reason that we are gonna talk about this series is because, it's gotten a lot of attention. And on this podcast, we try so hard to avoid all of the problems and issues that are linked to authors, which is honestly crazy these days. It is very hard to find an author who's pretty solid and good and doesn't have anything wrong with them, especially when, considering that their work has gotten a lot of attention and it is something so many people talk about. However, it is also really easy to be that person who only produces things that the masses want to read about, know about. And when that's followed up with good marketing, then it is almost guaranteed that you will be getting your own TV show as well, and not, having people consider whether you or your work is worth the hype when it has enough hype. So, for the next 5 episodes, this one included, we will be talking about the off-campus series. The books are called The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, The Goal, and the final book is called The Legacy, which is about all of the characters, all of the couples. This episode we're going to talk about The Deal. So The Deal is the very first book of the series, published in 2015. It's a new adult sports romance that follows Hannah Wells and star hockey player Garrett Graham as they strike a mutually beneficial deal to achieve their individual goals, but develop an unexpected romance in the process. Trauma and healing are very big things in The Deal. However, if you read more than one book by Elle Kennedy, you would notice that she raises an issue incredibly sensitive and makes it big enough to be a part of the background story of the character, but vague enough for them to not actually deal with it or honestly pay attention to this issue as much as it needs to. And again, something else that is a pattern by this author that you would easily notice is how the men in the books are always a bigger deal than the women. And in a way, they are always saved by the main male character. So these are the big themes that you would notice in all of these books that we're going to talk about. So if that's not something you find interesting, like I said, you have so many other episodes to choose from. But if it is, and even if you have only heard of the series and you're curious, well, stick around. And if you read it, I would also love to hear your opinion about, well, for this episode, this book, and for the next episodes, the rest of the series. The very first chapter, we meet Garrett Graham. He's your typical player, both on the ice and off the ice. He has obvious daddy issues, which seems like a crucial thing for so many characters in so many romance books. And his problem is that his father is a hockey legend, therefore he expects his son, Garrett, to be just like him. However, they don't have a good relationship, and his tragedy is that he also lost his mother. Hockey has been his whole life, as his father just put skates on him the very second he could walk, and he is paying attention to hockey only so that he could get signed by an NHL team and obviously wants to go pro. He doesn't have any siblings, however he has 3 best friends, John Logan, John Tucker, and Dean DeLaurentis, who are the other characters that star in other books. He obviously doesn't do relationships, however, something that is very necessary for him and well, all of the players in college and high school is that they should maintain a good GPA and get good grades, right? Well, he always does enough, but this one time he doesn't get a good grade in a class. And can you guess who does? Hannah Wells. She is a music major. She is not very close with her family, and she lives with her friend, well, her roommate, Allie. And her dilemma in the book is that she loses her scholarship, and now she tries to win a showcase. And the thing is that she knows classical music, she knows jazz, and she only made a pop song once. And well, to win this pop showcase, she has to, well, be more vulnerable. And something huge is that the last time that she made a pop song, it was about the tragedy that she overcame, something that happened in high school at a party. Now, she is a survivor, and sometimes she is shown as a strong woman, but still the energy of her needing some sort of a savior is very much clear and exaggerated. She also has a crush on this other guy who's a musician. And well, he is the kind who just wants what he can't have. So after Garrett tries to convince Hannah to tutor him so that he could have a better GPA, they make a deal that she would help him with his grades and he would help her get the guy. And that is when the fake dating enters the scene. There are some hockey games involved, there are some travels involved, and there is the final happily ever after where they realize that they have feelings for each other and Hannah wins the showcase, and Garrett's grade, well, they go up, and he becomes neutral with his father, and so it ends like this. So it is a very simple and easy book to get through, and it's the same thing for all of the other books. It's not necessarily something that you would cry out or miss the second that it ends, and I don't think you would really want to reread it again the second that you finish the book, but maybe it's just my opinion. And is it really worth the hype? I would love for you to answer that. See you around soon. Thank you so much for listening, and for any kind of collab and ads, you can contact us through email. Laters.